I like what the last callers have been speaking about. I just want to go a little bit deeper into it. So what I wrote, sorry, I have a little bit of scratchy throat today. What I wrote down was, instead of what I perceive, what is happening in the moment, this is what I will have just because I want it. So what I'm asking, along with like the last caller, to go deeper.
But before you, right, so there's a little bit, and we mean this in just a very simple, very sort of joking sort of way. That sentence has a little bit of Frankenstein's monster to it. You've got three ideas cobbled together, but they don't. If you'll notice, you don't have a scratchy throat. Part of the reason you're having trouble speaking is because you may have a scratchy throat, but it doesn't really impede your capacity to speak. Part of the reason you're having a little trouble speaking is because there's one of those thoughts you can't quite swallow. Two of them make a lot of sense. The first one and the third one, but the second one is too much work. You want what you want because you want it. Yes, 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 yes. But that's like a big, huge 30,000-foot kind of idea, right? I want what I want because I want it. And it just sort of, it's up in the sky and millions can see it. It's like, a supernova in a distant galaxy, but not too far away, that actually lights up the daytime sky. That's what that thought is like. It's revolutionary. It's not just unreasonable. It is literally going downtown, turning over cars and setting them on fire. It is a big, big thought. It doesn't really belong with the first thought. It can affect the first thought in a really, really big way. I see what I see. Okay, well, you do see what you see. And the see what you see part has all the contrast in it that will get you to the place of the better feeling thought, period, end of story. That second part, where you're basically going to have to pivot, basically where you have to go over to, Cape Canaveral, get on the launch pad, and hope that a rocket will take you up to the 30,000-foot point, it isn't going to work. Yeah. You see what we mean?
Yes. Yes.
You do not need a rocket. You do not need to build a ladder to space in order to climb your way up to that place. Because that big, huge, gigantic supernova thought, as soon as you see it in the sky, it changes everything. Some of it's subtle, some of it's massive. But it changes everything. Just saying it right now, I have what I have because I want what I have. I have what I have because I simply want it, because I have a desire for it, because it pleases me. Goodness, such an unreasonable thought. I want what I want because it pleases me to have it. Well, what about everybody else? There's just a huge array of conflicting thoughts that can arise out of that.
Yes.
Which will tell you what a powerful thought it is. The more contrast there is, the bigger the deal it is. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but you may have to have the big deal part because you've been holding back on those, and let them actually happen and let the big deal happen. And it will be sort of like a big mountain of smoke that just a single breeze will wipe away. So it's not really a big deal, but it may certainly look like one. And from a moment or two, it may feel like one. But then what do you end up with? You just end up with the fact that you're in the moment that you're in and you're having the experience that you're having, and the feedback that you're getting from physical reality is helping you decide where you want to go next. A few conversations ago, we were talking about micro-visualizations. Something it's not really something that we would want to go terribly deeply in because it's not really truly what it is. It's just a really good way of putting it. But it's, you're walking down the road, for example, and your feet are giving you feedback about the slope of the road. Let's say it begins to head downward. So you reposition your body according to the center of gravity, and your body will naturally do this for you. You don't really have to do anything, but you'll feel it. You'll feel yourself sort of leaning backwards a little bit as you move the center of gravity down to keep it from rising up to where you would then fall on your face. So let's say the muscles in your shins begin to do extra work, which might stretch them a little bit and give you sort of some feedback. Well, that's an amazing array, huge array of data. But yet you keep moving one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, because your alignment with walking down the road is you're going to take the path of the road on the terms that it presents itself to you, right? You're not going to try to then, if the road is going down at a, let's say, 15-degree slope, you're not going to try to maintain a 0-degree walk and essentially walk off of the road into thin air. Because you, first of all, can't, physically, theoretically, you can't do it. Of course, you can do it. But you don't know how to do it necessarily because, in essence, you don't understand the muscle feedback that if you don't have something to push against, walking on air is really, really, really a very different thing. So you're walking down the road and it begins to slope and you're just taking advantage of the slope. You're taking advantage of the experience. And if you step back 3 steps, going back, even maybe back up to that 30,000 foot point, what you're going to end up with is this is the road that I wanted. If you try to change the road by fixing it because you don't like it, you're pushing against it. But if you decide that as easy as it is to continue walking downhill like this, it's going to get easier and easier and easier, you may be surprised that you end up in a place that you weren't quite expecting but is actually much better than you thought it would be. That's not dealing with the road on its own terms. That's letting what you've created be what it is and then deciding you'll have something that's even better than that. And because it's such, in your mind, such a fixed point, it's the road. The road was already there. I'm just meeting it. Well, that's not really true. The road wasn't there. It is your road. You did lay it down. It is arising to meet you. But that's a really big trend to buck. So you back up, back up, back up until basically you just are saying, I'm just going to have something better and better and better. And it's a very general statement that has no specific meaning, just that it's going to feel better, and it's already feeling better just in the saying of it. That's the first part, where you're just right there in the micro moment, the micro visualization of, I'm just going to be here, be here, be here, little better, little better, little better. But when you do launch that massive rocket that goes up in supernovas all over everything and says, it pleases me to have what it is that I want to have, my desire is sufficient unto itself. My intensity, my clarity, my focus is all serving what pleases me. God damn it, like that. That affects what happens in the moment because it changes the context. But you don't ever have to reach for it. It's simply there. It's already there. It's already happening. There's already a new star in the sky that you don't remember from ever before. You thought maybe, in fact, that maybe there's a new sun in your solar system. It's so bright. But no, it's just a new thought that is overlighting everything. Do you understand what we're saying here?
Oh, yes. It's exactly what I wanted because I could kind of get it, but you put it into words so I could really feel it. Thank you. Yeah, you anchored it for me. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
And we thank you. And we do remind you that you just let us do that. That's what happened. We really didn't actually do anything. All of this is you and you deciding that you can have what you want because, God damn it, it pleases you.
Yes, I so love me. With your assistance.
Well, we highly recommend it because that is, in fact, the very best thing that you could do for yourself ever. So it's very powerful. And we thank you. A very delicious and delightful conversation indeed.